Brought to you by businessblueprint.com.au.
What I've found, though, is Backpack is great if you've got, 1, 2, maybe 3 staff, okay? You'll be happy, it'll work really well, but things start to break down when you start having, more than 3, 4, 5 staff using Backpack. Because Backpack tells people what to do, but it doesn't really, and also what to do and how to do it, but it doesn't tell people when to do it and schedule different tasks. It's not very smart at that, and it's also not very good at delegating things about who to do certain things. And so the problem that we kind of have as business owners is we need things to get done. We have ideas, and then what we basically do is we assign one to Nick, and we give one to Lenore, and then we give one to Anthony, and we give another one to Lenore, and we give another one over here, and we're just allocating all these tasks. And normally the way that we do that is via email. Can you do this, and can you do this, and can you do that? Basically what we're doing is throwing these tasks over a fence, and then we're just basically crossing our fingers and hoping they get done, because there's really no visibility. The only way of confirming it is for them to send you an email back and saying, I've done this, but then your inbox is getting flooded with all of these, the idea is to get less emails, not to get more emails. And then if you give a task, once you've done one, you might remember this needs to get done, but once you've delegated 10 tasks or 20 tasks for that day, you don't remember who you allocated to, and so you don't know. If you say, email me back, and you've emailed 20 tasks and 15 emails come in, you're probably not going to remember which of those 5 tasks did you not get a response on. So basically it just starts to break down and just doesn't work really effectively anymore. And so therefore what you need is another level to sit on top of Backpack. So we still use Backpack. This is not making Backpack obsolete or redundant. It's still an important foundation to where all our intellectual property is stored. But then what you need is a project management tool. And what that does, it brings everybody together, and it brings everybody onto the same page. Okay, everyone gets onto the same page so we know what's happening, and what you have is complete visibility and transparency of what's going on inside your business. And you'll see how that works in just a sec. So I'm just going to quickly introduce you to this whole idea of what's called out there project management. And project management is the discipline of planning, organizing, securing, and managing resources to achieve specific goals. Okay, now what we use is we don't use a whole lot of pieces of paper, okay? We use obviously a tool, okay? And this tool we use is a software tool to be able to do this. But you might be saying, well, which tool do I use? Because there is a whole lot of different tools that are out there. I'm just going to rattle off a few different ones, and they're all good. But they all also have their own strengths and weaknesses. And so the main one is that you got to come up with one that you like and resonates with you. So I've gone through this process and I've made my decision. I'm going to show you what I've decided. If you want to follow me, you can. If you want to pick one of these other ones, you can do that as well. This one's called FreeCamp. This is one called Active Collab, which is the one, Randall and Trisha, you guys use Active Collab? Not anymore. Okay. TeamworkPM. Okay, interesting. So this next one here is called Asana. Then we have Zoho Projects. There's another one called Copper. Now, were you using Copper for a while? Ari? Yeah. So Ari was using Copper, not anymore. So, you can go down these other paths that if you want to, but eventually they sort of break down. I just don't want to be this is the only way of going. There are options, but it just seems like everybody's coming to this way anyway. So this is called High Tasks. And then there's the industry leader, which is known as Basecamp. Now, Basecamp you can look at the description there. It says that it is the world's largest project management, cloud-based project management app. And it has been going since 2004, and it has set 8 million projects that it's set up. So it's huge. But just because it's it's big doesn't necessarily mean it's better. Okay. And what I was using Basecamp, but there was a few obvious things that I just thought it should be able to do. Like we would set up every Tuesday, if we had to send out an email about a webinar, we wanted to set up that as a task. And then we thought, well, there's 52 weeks in the year. We don't want to have to to repeat this 52 times. We're like, where's the repeat this task button? And there was no one. We couldn't do recurring tasks. So I just thought, I could spend the next 20 minutes loading all these in, but surely, there'd be a button to just go repeat this every Tuesday and it would just happen. And they didn't do it. And then there was a couple of other ones as well, whereby sometimes when we do a webinar, there is, like, we've got to load it up to Vimeo. Now, sometimes if I'm around, I'll do it. If I'm not around, then I wanted to make sure that gets done, because if I'm on the road or whatever, and so I wanted a task to actually be done by me or by Andy, whoever kind of gets to it first. So I wanted this a task assigned to 2 people. But in Backpack, you could only assign it to 1. And that's it. The one person's got to do it. But I wanted to be able to assign it to 2 people or even 3 people. And so basically we all knew about it. And it was like, who can get to this task to the first? So it couldn't do that. So I found it started to break down. And I was looking for alternatives. So I did some research. And I found that not only me, but many, many other people had found frustrations with regards to Basecamp and obvious things that it just didn't do. And so there were many reviews online. You can check those out if you want to. And a lot of them were talking about this better alternative, which was called TeamworkPM. Now, the funny thing is TeamworkPM was started by a software company who was using Basecamp. They were Basecamp customers, and they were running a software company, and they were going, we needed to do this, and we needed to do this, and we needed to do this, and they're like, and basically Basecamp said, sorry, it is what it is. If you don't like it, then find something else, And so they basically said, well, we're going to build our own. So they did, and they built their own, which is called TeamworkPM. And they're a bunch of software developers from Ireland, of all places. I've spoken to them a couple of times on the phone and over Skype, and really great service. So let's talk about very quickly, save you doing all the research. These are the reasons why we use TeamworkPM, because it can do recurring tasks, because you can assign tasks to multiple people. It emails you, which Basecamp didn't do, a daily report of this is exactly what you have to get done today. So we go, oh, it's 2 months out from an event. We've got to, do this. It just reminds you every single day. It also integrates with Dropbox and Google Docs if you have things stored there. So if you want to go, there's a template for this, and you have a link to your Dropbox folder, it will sync up. It also has, I don't use this, but if you are in a business where you're like a graphic designer and you need to track your time, it's got time tracking and detailed reporting. So then you can take that and invoice clients if you want to, based on the time worked on certain projects. It's got some really good permission and privacy options, and the customer support is great. So they're the reasons why we've moved to TeamworkPM.
Brought to you by businessblueprint.com.au.